Coming up, find out what one community group is doing to build leadership among young professionals. Troy TrojanVision starts now.
From the high-definition digital production center on the Troy campus, with news from Troy University locations around the world, this is Troy TrojanVision Nightly News.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision Nightly News for June 27, 2013. I'm Felicia Payne and thank you for joining us this evening. The Pike County Young Professionals Club is designed to grow young professionals in their careers, and part of the way they do that is to host a leadership luncheon once every 2 months. The Pike County Young Professionals Club hosted a leadership luncheon on Thursday to bring members together and hear from a guest speaker.
Every other month we have a different business leader from the community come out and speak to us about their experiences through life and how their work ethics are going, and then gives examples of how their jobs are going.
The group is sponsored by the Pike County Chamber of Commerce and open to all professionals in the Pike County community, but it's geared toward young professionals who come together to learn about leadership and other things that they can do to help and improve their professional lives.
Pike County Young Professionals is young professionals in Pike County that come together to socialize and to network.
Well, it's important because we need to be sure that we network and interface with each other on a pretty regular basis, because we need to kind of exchange ideas and best practices of what it takes and what we're doing in small business to make everybody successful, because we need to know those things that kind of help everybody.
Alan addressed the group to explain his job as probate judge and what his office does for Pike County and how he hopes he can be a benefit to the members.
They just wanted to know kind of what the probate office has to offer, what we do on a daily basis, and our philosophy towards small business, and we're very business friendly. I want them to know that they've got an advocate for small business. I come from a family who operated a small business, and I just want them to know that I share their philosophy that government is too big. They've got an advocate for small business.
For more information, you can visit the Pike County Chamber of Commerce website at pikecountychamberofcommerce.memberlodge.com. And whoever said when you hit college the fun stops obviously was never enrolled in Troy University. That's because Troy's Impact gave incoming freshmen a look into the fun side of going to college. Justin McNelly has the story.
After a long day of school-related activities, the incoming freshmen at Troy University's Impact got a chance to relax and have some fun at Camp Butter and Egg.
We bring all of the Impact students out here to Camp Butter and Egg to do the high ropes course, and also, any other games we have here on the campgrounds. And then later on tonight, we'll actually be doing field games with all of the color groups.
Whether they wanted to climb the rock wall, glide down the zip line, or go for a wild ride on the giant swing, there was something there for everyone.
Oh, Gaga's been the favorite right now. It's intense. People flying everywhere. You're moving all the time. It's intense.
Zip lining has definitely been my favorite.
And this event wasn't just for freshmen. Impact leaders and workers even got the chance to interact with the incoming students.
It's also good to interact with the new kids. I talk to them about my major and their major and that kind of thing.
One of the things that I definitely have enjoyed is being able to share my experiences, my triumphs and my failures with all these students, and helping them in any way possible.
And with the fun winding down, each student had something they wanted to gain from their Impact experience.
Definitely a class schedule and definitely a better understanding of Troy and the classes and everything like that.
To be honest, I really didn't think Troy had that much to offer in extracurricular, but now that I've gone through there, they have like over 100 different programs for leadership and over 300 extracurriculars activities, so it's absolutely intense.
Justin McNelly, Troy TrojanVision News.
The next Impact session will begin on Monday, July 1st. And now taking a look at news from around the state. In Selma, 2 juveniles have been charged with starting a blaze that destroyed one abandoned home and damaged another. A police spokesman says witnesses provided a description of 2 suspects who had been seen around the house on Tuesday. Alabama officials say voters apparently will have to present identification at the polls in the next election. Officials say the Supreme Court's ruling Tuesday throwing out parts of the Federal Voting Rights Act means that the state does not have to submit a new law requiring voter photo identification for pre-clearance. In Prattville, police will sell confiscated guns to raise money so they can buy uniforms and equipment. A police captain says the weapons will be sold to a law enforcement supply company in Montgomery. And still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News, one of Troy's coaches resigned from the university to move on to another school. Mitchell Spoon will give us all the details and more in sports. But first, Congress is scheduled to discuss student loan interest rates. We'll have that and more after the break.
Interest rates on some student loans could double come Monday if Congress doesn't take action. I'm Alexis Christoforous with that story.
To your desk.
A massive earthquake has rocked the city.
Worst natural disaster this region has ever witnessed.
When a disaster strikes, time is a killer. The UN Central Emergency Response Fund jumpstarts relief efforts, which saves lives. Help us help in time. Donate now at rapiddisasterrelief.org.
I would tell anybody, if you're getting your master's, I would start with Troy first.
It's easy, you can take classes online, you take them on the ground.
Because being a full-time mom, full-time dad, and working full-time with Troy, it was just perfect. It worked for us.
On campus or online, Troy offers you an extraordinary education with the flexibility you need. Troy University, it's all you need to know.
We both earned our masters in public administration, and I choose Troy.
We choose Troy.
That's right, we choose Troy.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
After several test votes, the Senate is finally voting on a bipartisan immigration bill that will clear the way for millions of illegal immigrants to gain American citizenship. But House Republicans are warning that the legislation may be dead on arrival. Danielle Nottingham reports from Capitol Hill.
The Senate will vote on major immigration reform Thursday that could help keep families like the Alfaros together. 14-year-old Jaylene Alfaro came here with her parents illegally from Honduras. The government recently threatened to send her father back.
Many people are being separated from their kids. Many kids are being orphans even though their parents are alive.
The bipartisan bill offers a path to citizenship for the millions of immigrants living in the country illegally. The addition of 20,000 new Border Patrol agents and 700 miles of fencing along the U.S.-Mexico border addressed Republicans' concerns about border security and won enough support to move forward in the Senate.
This bill secures the border, and anyone who says it doesn't does not understand our security needs.
But this bill may not go very far. Speaker John Boehner has already signaled the legislation does not stand a chance in the GOP-controlled House.
The House is not going to take up and vote on whatever the Senate passes.
The major sticking point for several Republicans is the pathway to citizenship. Many are opposed to giving amnesty to millions of illegal immigrants. Jaylene Alfaro's father hopes House lawmakers come around.
Not only for my family, but for 11 million of people who are in the same condition.
The White House has already said it backs the Senate's bill. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
A key witness for the prosecution spent a second day on the stand. The friend of Trayvon Martin says she was on the phone with the teenager just moments before he was killed by George Zimmerman. But the defense says her story is not reliable. Susan McGinnis has the latest from Sanford, Florida.
Rachel Gentile says she was on the phone with Trayvon Martin when George Zimmerman approached him in this Sanford, Florida neighborhood. She claims she heard a scuffle.
I heard Trayvon saying, "Get off."
But during cross-examination, defense attorney Don West repeatedly pressed her on what she heard and if she really knew who said it.
I did hear "Get off, sir."
But you don't know what it meant because you didn't see any of this, correct?
No, sir.
West questioned Gentile's credibility, pointing out she sent Martin's parents a letter about what she heard that night, but didn't sign her real name. He also accused her of changing her story.
Are you sure those were the words that Trayvon Martin said, or could you have been sort of trying to figure out what was said and that's what you came up with?
I'm sure.
Gentel's testimony is key to the prosecution's case. The state is trying to prove the neighborhood watchman chased down the teenager before shooting and killing him. But the defense claims it was Martin that attacked their client.
But you thought it was just a fight because it was one you knew that Trayvon Martin was planning to start.
No, sir.
Gentel was defiant at times during her 2 days of testimony.
You listening?
Attorney Luis Calderon believes that could hurt her credibility with the jury.
She's combative, and it just takes away from the message. If you don't like the source, you're not going to like the message.
Prosecutors believe Gentel's testimony helps prove Zimmerman is guilty of second-degree murder. Susan McGinnis, CBS News, Sanford, Florida.
Congress has another battle coming to a head. If lawmakers don't make a deal, interest rates will jump on millions of student loans. Alexis Christoforous has the story.
Senate Democrats came out with a new proposal to postpone interest rates on student loans from doubling.
This legislation would simply extend the current rate of 3.4%, the rate we have today, for need-based loans.
At issue are the government's Stafford subsidized loans, which come with an interest rate of 3.4%. As of July 1st, that rate is scheduled to jump to 6.8% for new loans. The rate on existing loans would not change. Democrats want to delay that increase for a year while they work out a long-term solution.
Young people are hurt by student loan debt, and in turn, that hurts our economy.
About a quarter of all student borrowers have the subsidized loans Congress is talking about. Without a deal, about 7.5 million students will see their rates go up.
How are people supposed to become productive members of society if they have so many debts to pay?
A separate bipartisan proposal would tie new loans to the rate on 10-year Treasury bonds. That would keep rates low for now, but they could climb in future years and without a cap on how high they could go. As that plan started losing support, the finger-pointing began.
Interest rates on student loans are about to double because the President and Senate Democrats won't resolve this impasse.
And they're quickly running out of time. Congress has just 1 day left before breaking for the July 4th holiday. Alexis Christoforous, CBS News, New York.
And now Mitchell Spoon joins us with sports. So Mitchell, I've heard a coach is leaving Troy. What can you tell us?
That's right. A coach is leaving Troy and going to another school. But I'll get more into that starting right now. Troy University and Athletic Director John Hartwell announced today that tennis head coach Eric Hayes has resigned from Troy to accept the same position at Mercer University. Hayes spent 11 years with the Trojans as both men and women's head coach. In his tenure, Hayes led the Lady Trojans to the 2004 Atlantic Sun Conference Championship and the NCAA tournament. And for the men, he led them to the 2010 Sun Belt Conference Championship and the NCAA tournament also. Hayes says he can't thank the Trojan Nation enough for all of its support. The announcement was made earlier today at a press conference in Macon, Georgia. And Coach, from all of us here at TrojanVision and at Troy, we wish you the best of luck at Mercer.